Welcome back to the Xfinity Center at WMUC Sports Radio. Matt Levine alongside Brendan Hartlove. Michigan State out to a 17-5 lead with 14:57 left in the first half. They're shooting 88%, 7 of 8 from the field, 3 of 3 from behind the arc. Just haven't missed a beat at all. And Maryland, only 2 shots made in this game, a long 2 from Morcell and a 3 from Jalen Smith. Now Maryland under its own basket, inbounds from Morcell to Jalen Smith, and now a handoff to Morcell. Aaron Wiggins has just checked in, as well as Gabe Brown for Michigan State. And now in the post on the right side is Jalen Smith, backing down on Tillman, and a travel is called on Jalen Smith. The crowd doesn't like it. A lot of contact, but the officials say the travel happened before the contact was made. So Michigan State comes down the other way. Tillman, guarded by Jalen Smith, picks it up. Now a backdoor cut from Aaron Henry, and he kicks it back out to Winston. Henry gets it to his right, pulls up, and a travel is called as he tried to corral the basketball. Thought it was a gathering step as he's kind of disputing the call now, but another turnover, back-to-back travel calls against both these teams.
I think that's the third we've had in this game so far.
Cowan quickly the other end, drives left, he slips and loses the ball, and it's called out of bounds off of Michigan State, so Maryland will get the ball back.
I think the fans might have wanted a foul called here against Cowan, and I mean, I can see the case for the foul there. There was a lot of contact that, you know, forced Cowan to put that out or to go off of Michigan State, but not too much in it for me.
Morcell inbounds to Scott, now hands off to Cowan. Scott sets a screen, and now Cowan's alone at the top of the key with 15 on the shot clock. He's guarded by Xavier Tillman, a mismatch. Cowan inside to Morcell, a great pass. He misses the layup, but he gets his own rebound and follows it back up, and it's 17-7.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And it looked like it might come off the first time, but credit to Daryl Morcell for staying with that play.
Gabe Brown kicks over, and now Tillman straightaway 3 off the back iron. And Aaron Henry grabs the rebound, but an offensive foul is called as he threw Anthony Cowan to the floor to grab that rebound. And he can't believe it as he's disputing again. Last possession was called for a travel. This one, an offensive foul, his first foul on the day.
This is going to end up being a pretty chippy game. Obviously, emotions already running high, such a big crowd, so much on the line. But these are 2 teams that have a respectful hatred for each other, if that makes any sense. And so I think you're going to see that come out as calls start going one way or the other.
Cowan on the left wing, guarded by Aaron Henry. Bounce pass to Scott on the left side in the post. Backing down, he puts up the floater, and it's in. Dante Scott, so calm and patient down low. Just a freshman, has made a huge jump over the last couple games. Now Tillman the other way, wide open from 3, and it's no good. Morcell comes away with the board. A cross-court pass to Sticks, kick out Scott. The 3 is good. Tic-tac-toe, Morcell, Jalen Smith, and Dante Scott finishes the left wing 3, and it's back within 5, 17-12, under 13 to go.
That's what this arena needed.
Henry kicks over to Kithier, who just checked in as well, and now Gabe Brown gets the ball at the top. Winston slows it down with 5 on the shot clock. Screen from Tillman. Winston to his right on Jalen Smith, inside, up and under, and a foul is called with 1 second on the shot clock, and Mark Turgeon cannot believe it. Neither can the fans here in the Xfinity Center. Just 1 second on that shot clock, and Dante Scott was called for the foul. He wasn't even near the play. It looked like Jalen Smith was closer to Cassius Winston, and now Winston will shoot 2 from the free throw line, where he's been very successful this year, shooting a clip of 86.2%.
You know, Matt, I'm never one, as he makes the first, I'm never one to criticize referees' decisions in any sport really any time, but I do have to say that was a very, very poor call. We've seen that a lot over the past couple of games. I'm not saying the Big Ten's out to get them. The Twitter people can stop with that, but what I am saying is that Maryland has to prevent themselves from getting frustrated. That can provoke an emotional response, and then that can result in some other, issues for the Terps.
Winston at the line for his second shot. He completes it again. Now it's 19-12, and Ricky Lindo Jr. has checked in. Dante Scott goes to take a seat. Ayala still sitting on the bench with Wiggins in. as well as Morcell, Cowan, and Jalen Smith. Morcell kicks over to Jalen Smith on the left wing, driving, and now kicks out to Cowan. Cowan slows it down, 15 on the shot clock, crosses over right on Rocket Watts, now goes left, driving off the glass. He can't get it to go, and Jalen Smith nearly grabbed the rebound, but now Hall comes away with it, and an outlet pass to Winston. Winston inside, and he stepped out of bounds on the baseline. Maryland will handle possession again after the turnover from Cassius Winston, and you don't see that too much from the veteran point guard.
And it's credit to Daryl Morcell again for a fantastic defensive play. I know he gets so much credit for his defensive work, but rightfully so, because he did such a good job of closing down the angle and forcing Cassius Winston to try to make a very difficult play, and in the end made the mistake.
So Rocket Watts back in, as well as Marcus Bingham Jr. for the first time today for the Spartans. Tillman goes to take a seat. So now Jalen Smith backing down on Bingham Jr., and he's fouled as he goes up in the post on the right side. And that brings us to the under 12. 11:52 to go. Maryland has cut it back down to 7. It's 19-12, and some energy back into the building.
And I think that's needed, because we saw that, Michigan State is 7 of 10 from the floor. They've made 7 of their last 9 shots, but they haven't made a field goal in 3.5 minutes. That's credit to Maryland's defense. They came out a little sluggish. Now they've made some adjustments, and it was only a matter of time before Michigan State was going to, face some trouble. But now I think that Maryland in a much better place, only down by 7.
19-12, 11:52 to go in the first half. You're listening to Maryland basketball on WMUC Sports Radio. Your Terps, your station. Welcome back on the Maryland Baseball Network. Matt Levine and Kevin McNulty with you.
Coaching at third base, number 19.
As Anthony Papio and Matt Swope go to take first and third to coach there. And now leading off for the Terps, none other than Bubba Alline, who has led off every game this season. Went 6 for 6 yesterday, tying the record for most hits in a game as a Terp. And taking the hill is Tyler Schaff. And here's the first pitch. And of course, Alline swings it, puts a good bat on it, lined into center field, but coming on is the center fielder Ciliento to make the catch, and there's one away.
Right fielder number 3.
So his hit streak comes to an end right there. Now he's 6 for 7 in his last 7 at bats. He got barrel on that ball, but just right to the center fielder. Again, that aggressiveness that we were talking about in the pregame. Right there from Bubba Alline.
So here's Randy Bednar in the 2 spot today. He swings at the first pitch. He fouls it high towards right field, but out of play right off the bat and over the dugout. So now it's 0-1. So both two guys in the lineup swinging at the first pitch so far. And now the count 0-1 with 1 away. In the windup, over the head, the 0-1. Change-up in there, called strike. Bednar doesn't like it. He's shaking his head a little bit, stays in the box to see if he'll get anything this time, but now it's 0-2. In the windup again, the 0-2 pitch to Bednar. Upstairs, and Bednar leaned at it but did not swing, and now it's 1-2.
Bednar standing towards the back of the box kind of widens his stance as he's in the hole. Now 1-2.
Now the 1-2 pitch, low and away. Ball 2, and now Bednar evens up the count, 2-2. So you have Gabby Cruz over at first base, who caught yesterday's game. So might not be familiar with the infield signs, has to keep looking at his sign sheet. The 2-2, a curveball grounded over to shortstop, fielded by DeTulio. Coming on, the running throw is not in time, and Bednar has an infield single.
Great hustle down the line right there from Bednar.
From Baltimore. First
he put that grounder in a great spot to be able to beat that out right in the hole between short and third. It was eventually fielded by Tommy DeTulio, but not quick enough to get Bednar at first.
Bednar finding a way on once again. He's been so good this season at doing so. And here's Maxwell Costas. Bednar now an average of 396. Here's Costas, takes the first pitch outside, and it's ball 1. Costas with a .432 batting average on the young season, a .614 on base percentage. Has just been unstoppable at getting on base. He was walked 3 times yesterday, 2 times intentionally. Now the 1-0 to Costas. Takes it low, shakes his head, and shrugs his shoulders a little bit, and now it's 2-0.
And Bednar put on his hand protector Walker sliding into second over at first base, so we'll see if he runs. I have a feeling the Terps might elect not to with the way Costas has been swinging it.
The 2-0, curveball in there, called strike right at the bell. And I think if Costas got into that one, it probably would have went over the fence. That was a hanging curveball, but with no strikes, Costas making a smart decision not to swing at the first curveball. So now 2-1, back in the stretch. Here's the 2-1 pitch, another off-speed pitch. Maybe a little breaking ball there, and now it's 3-1. Outside of the strike zone there.
Costas being very disciplined at the plate right now, working a 3-1 count. He knows he's got a base runner there that he'd be able to move over with a walk.
Now Bednar takes off a great jump, and it's a walk anyway as the pitch comes outside. So Costas takes the walk.
Batting fourth, the freshman from
His fourth
Stamford,
walk in the last 2
Connecticut.
days.
Designated hitter number 41, Bobby Zamarzlak.
It was a good at-bat that time from Costas, and now 2 guys on for the freshman, Bobby Zamarzlak, with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs yesterday. Well, he's got two more runners out there for him right now.
So now the first pitch, Zamarzlak gives it a ride into the left center field gap, and it falls down and rolls all the way to the wall. Bednar rounds third. He will score. Costas goes over to third, and Bobby Zamarzlak stands up at second with a double there, a stand-up double and an RBI for the freshman. He's been unstoppable the last 2 games.
Batting
Bet
fifth, the
Rob
freshman
Vaughn's
from
liking that move to move him to the cleanup
Pennsylvania.
spot
Left
right
fielder
there
number
because
14,
he cleaned up
Roy
RBI double
Scheffler.
right in the left center gap. Again, Bobby Z going after the first pitch. Put a great swing on it, and now he stands at second base, just 1 out for Maryland in the bottom of the first.
Schaaf's first pitch to Troy Schreffler, another freshman, is upstairs for a ball. So there's 3 freshmen batting 4th, 5th, and 6th, Zamarzlak, Schreffler, and Orlando. And then you got Austin Chavis batting 8th. And making his debut at a JUCO is Brenton Davis. So a lot of younger guys, a lot of new faces in this lineup this season. And now the 1-0 pitch to Schreffler. Thinks about swinging, does not, pulls it back, and it's outside for a ball 2-0. So Costas on third, Zamarzlak on second. And Zamarzlak was just a couple feet from making it a 3-run homer, but instead it's a RBI double.
And the freshman starting to settle in the order. We've seen it for sure with Zamarzlak. Troy Schreffler still trying to get it going. Here, his 23rd at bat right now. He's 4 for 22 on the year, but he's got a big opportunity with runners on second and third in the first inning here.
Takes it outside. It's 3-0, and now here's the 3-0 pitch, and he takes it upstairs and he walks. So now the bases are loaded for another freshman, Matt Orlando. And Tyler Schaaf is in trouble early with just 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning.
Orlando.
We said it could happen very easily. Coming in with a near 8 ERA. And now that's 2 walks. He walked Costas. And now Schreffler.
So here's Orlando with a 136 batting average. First pitch to him is low and outside, ball 1. So Schaaf really struggling to find the strike zone, and here comes a coach out of the dugout, and it'll just be between the battery mates Lane and Schaaf. And the infield will not come in this meeting, but we'll stay here as Orlando is at the plate with the bases loaded, and Eileen swung at the first pitch, then Bednar swung at the first pitch. Eileen lined out into center. I mean, he gave that ball a ride. It was just a couple of feet away from being a gapper, but hit it too far. He hit it too directly at Ciliento in center field. And Bednar reached on an infield single. Costas walked, and Zamarzlak drove in Bednar on the double. And now the bases are loaded as Schreffler walks. So 4 straight guys reach base on just 2 hits and 2 walks.
Yeah, we talked about guys going after the first pitch, but now, since Matt Orlando has drawn a 1-0 count, that's 5 straight balls from Schaaf. He's got the red light here, I would think.
So here's Orlando, and another ball thrown. It's a little bit inside. It's 2-0. Orlando went 1 for 5 yesterday on the day in game 1 of the series. Had a single in the first inning, but did not advance anywhere else on the base paths. The 2-0 pitch with the bases loaded just misses the strike zone there. That was the closer one than the previous 2 pitches, but still 3-0. As the first baseman, Gabby Cruz, is playing well in front of the bag at first base on that lip of what would be the grass, the green-colored turf. The 3-0 pitch in there right at the knees, and there's the called strike, and now it's 3-1.
Yeah, after being all over the place in that at-bat, Schaaf finally finds the zone on 3-0. He went high-low to right down the middle.
3-1 lined, and it's through the right side. A base hit for Orlando. The runners go station to station as Zamarzlak is held up at third base. It's an RBI single for Matt Orlando, and Maryland has a 2-0 lead, and the base is loaded again.
From Newark, New York.
A beautiful little poke right there from Matt Orlando
Powell.
through the right side. May have hit a little too hard. He couldn't get 2 RBIs that time, with each of the runners moving up one base. Still great at bat right there from Matt Orlando after being down, or being ahead in the count 3-0. Gets a pitch he likes and puts it in the outfield.
Here's Ben Cowles, the shortstop. He takes a fastball in there called strike. Batting in the 7th spot today. Yesterday hit another home run, his 3rd of the year. I mean, that one was a moonshot as well. They've all been over that center field batter's eye, it seems like, every time he hits a home run. Now the 0-1 pitch, swings hard at it, and it's cut foul back into the screen, and now it's 0-2 to Cowles. So really the first time that Schaaf's been well ahead in the count today.
Yeah, he got 1 out on 1 pitch and has struggled since then, with Maryland putting 2 runs up on the board. But now he's got Cowles in the 0-2 hole. We'll see what he does with it.
So the bases are loaded as Schaaf comes set in the stretch. Delivers the 0-2 high above the helmet of Cowles, and now it is 1-2.
Schaaf going for the fastball right there. If you remember when Casas was down the count, he gave him a curveball over the plate.
Now the 1-2 grounded over to shortstop, and it's a base hit. A run scores for Ben Cowles, an RBI single for Ben Cowles, and Zamarzlak scores. It's 3-0 Maryland. The runners go station to station again. I'd have to assume that'd be an infield single as DeTulio dove for it, knocked it down, but couldn't make the play. It was a very tough play, and they do give him an RBI single. So Ben Cowles moves the runners up 90 feet, and Maryland has another run on the board. It's 3-0. Thanks, Brendan. I spoke to Coach Freeze before the game about offense and defense. Offensively, they're going to look to get Taylor Mikesell going. She only shot 1 of 9 from the field last game and only had 3 points against Northwestern today. They want to make better play calls to get her open from 3. Defensively, they look to stop Lindsey Pulliam, who had 24 points against Maryland last time. They're not going to let her get loose in the press today, and they want to be conscious of where she is on the floor at all times. Brendan, I spoke to Coach McEwen at the half. He said his team played much better defensively in the second quarter, holding Maryland to only 10 points. Northwestern's going to look to do that in the second half. And I asked him about close games on the road in the Big Ten. He said this league is so competitive that you'll have so many of those throughout the year. And another one today, it seems like a close game that'll come down the stretch on the road for them. He said it all comes down to rebounding in the end. Matt Levine now alongside head coach Brenda Freeze. And Brenda, you guys were down by 3 at halftime. You ended up winning by 9 points. What did you see in the second half?
I thought it took great grit in the second half. I thought, we were aggressive on the offensive end. I think our zone gave them problems in this game. So just at both ends of the floor, which we needed to have.
And basically, Shakira Austin was out for most of the game. So who do you think really stepped up today, and were you proud of that? It
was a collective unit. Obviously, Steph as a senior did some great things, but I thought off the bench, Ashley Owusu came ready to play, Faith Masonis. So, we talk about that a lot. Be ready when your number's called, and I thought just collectively as a team, we all stepped up.
Now you're tied at the top of the Big Ten standings with Northwestern. How important was the win today?
Yeah, tiebreaker implications. It's a long season. Every game is important. So, just to be able to continue to do what you need to do every time you step out on the floor.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Matt Levine now alongside Maryland's senior forward, Stephanie Jones. Stephanie, a great game for you today, scored in double digits again. You did that with Shakira off the floor. Do you think you stepped up today and really had a good game?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody stepped up today. We all knew the importance of this game. And, we started off great, and then Kira went down, and we just had to keep building off of that and just, keep our energy up.
You guys were down by 3 at halftime, turned it into a 9-point victory. What did Coach say to you guys at halftime to get the second half run?
We just had to lock into the little things that we were doing. We were just breaking down on just little stuff, and if we just tighten up on those things, then we could pull out the win.
How important was it today beating Northwestern now at the top of the Big Ten standings with you guys?
It was very important for us, just personally. Just coming off this month, we've had our ups and downs, and I think that this is a great way, for us to go into the rest of the season.
Thanks for the time, Stephanie. Congrats on the win.